على كلمة الشرف السيدة جاكي ديتون.
Thank you very much. First of all, I'd like to thank you all for inviting me here today. It is a great honour and a great privilege to be standing here before you. For those of you who don't know, I'm a local councillor in this area. I live up the road, I live in Burnley, and I've been a councillor here for the last 16 years. During that time, it's been wonderful for me to get to know the Yemeni people and call them my friends, my colleagues and my neighbours, to be with you, to work with you and live here in our city. There's a long history of a connection between Britain and the Yemen, starting with the colonisation, of course, that we did, that the Victorians did. But then, further on from that, in the 50s and the 60s, when a lot of Yemeni men came across here, especially to Sheffield, to work in the steelworks. And I have to say, that's what made the Made in Sheffield mark such a good mark. You and your contribution that you made were important to our city. And I want to let you know how much I appreciate it. You and your culture have enriched this country and this city. I think it's really important that you're here. You have a long history, a great culture. I went to the Western Park Museum. There's a wonderful exhibition there. If anybody hasn't been, do go along to it. And also, I went to a very good talk by an archaeologist, a Yemeni archaeologist, about the culture in the Yemen. Just to say, one thing I wanted to do, very short, one thing I wanted to do was read a poem today. This was written by a young boy of 9 years old at Byronwood School as part of Refugee Week. So he was 9 years old, he'd come across to Britain. And it's called In Yemen, Where My Family Comes From. Destroyed. The homes of the people were destroyed in Yemen, where my family comes from. Missiles were shot down to the houses and many people died in Yemen, where my family comes from. Soldiers threw grenades that made big noises and we were scared in Yemen, where my family comes from. Friends. My friends were taken away from their homes. I don't know what happened to them. I wish I could see them again in Yemen, where my family comes from. Obviously, that was said from the heart by a young boy that had arrived in Sheffield. I suppose what you want to know is what can we do about the things that are happening that we heard in Yemen at the moment between the north and the south. And I suppose what I pledge that we will do in Sheffield is we will pledge that Sheffield will continue to be a city of sanctuary for whoever needs it at whatever time. I pledge to support the right for every people to have self-determination. And finally, I would like to say that I pledge to support a campaign for the right of self-determination for South Yemen. I have to say, I'm very sorry I can't stay for the whole event, but I do hope it all goes well